My name is Scott, and I've always loved being around the water. A dream of mine was to one day own a lakefront property of my own. For years, my wife and I have driven around the state looking at property. Sometimes we were serious, and sometimes we just needed something to do, but we were always dreaming. Now the dream has become a reality. Come join us as we attempt to build our very own off-grid cabin on Lake Lot 9. So I'm going to use 2x8 treated material from my porch, and as you can tell, it's dropped down a couple feet from the cabin floor, and that's by design because number one, an 8-foot 6x6 post is about all I can handle at a time. So this is my high end of my porch. So that'll give me, so if I put an 8-foot post on this footer that I'm standing on, it'll be pretty much level with that. Post to be a little bit higher. And then I can extend my post on up to my roof whenever the time comes. And I also didn't want to just keep getting higher and higher as I come down this hill, because eventually it's just going to be just way too high to contend with. So what I did, right now I've just got nails and all this stuff, but I used 2x6s. I measured off where I needed my 2x8 and got it hit level, 2 12-footers. I meant for this to be flush with the end, but it'll be fine. I used treated 2x6s and put them up against the post bases just for some added support, because I didn't want to notch my 6x6s for this band board. And I knocked them in there good and tight, so that should help. And I got this on here temporarily it was just to help me guide that 2x12 in there. of it toward the lake. Just a little bit. There you go. I'm gonna twist your post a little bit.
And is it okay? Oh my God. Okay, we're at.
Right here. You okay? That's probably gonna be close. I'll put a little more in it. Actually, I'm not, because I don't want it. I know we're exactly 8 foot from the cabin because I cut these exact. So as long as we get to the corner of that post. We got our corner post set temporarily. And you guys seen what kind of fiasco that was, but I couldn't have done it without Jackie's help for sure. So we got this, it's exactly 8 feet from this post to the end of this post. Same down there. Just did our diagonals and measured across from up here on the top end, down here on the bottom end. And we're easily within a ½ inch anywhere you look. So now the fun part is we got to I got to trace around where these brackets go. And then we got to move all of this and secure the bracket. And then put it all back. So So in the spirit of full transparency, you're getting ready to witness me completely botch the installation of 2 wedge anchors. The store was out of the Titan HDs that I normally use, and apparently I didn't take enough time to read the instructions on these. The first one I decided to beat in without the nut on it and messed it up, and then the second one decided that the whole thing was going to spin when I tried to put the nut on it. But I do redeem myself later on. first item of business today is I'm going to secure these 2 2x8s because we left here 9 days ago with that only having 1 nail in it, a couple screws on this end, and I completely botched the concrete anchors. So probably pretty lucky that they're still standing here. So I'm going to go ahead and secure all that the way it is. And you can see there, the other day was a pretty good day of screw ups because I overshot my ledger board up here, and I know how I did it, but it is what it is. But it's going to be fine because I'll end up extending these 4 posts up to the roof anyway. So I got a connector to put on my corners before I get too involved today, but you'll see that happen here in a little bit. But I want to get these secured because the last thing I need is a 2x8 falling out of the sky on my head. And then once I get those secured, I'm going to do my measurements again, make sure everything's good and square. And I'm going to pull these post bases off and make an attempt of what I think will work to repair the damage I did on these concrete anchors. So I use nails for these joist hangers on the cabin, but I had a bunch of these 1.5" Simpson screws left over from a project at home. So I'm going to use them up before I go back to nails, in case you were wondering. So I cut that old anchor off, and my thinking is, if you see where that post base is slotted, I'm going to drill right down in next to it, which I already have. And I think if I run one of these Titan anchors right down in next to it, we'll be good to go. I went ahead and put post extenders on the top of my 2 corner posts. I had to cut this one off at first just because I want them all to attach about the same height. And I use nails instead of screws because the heads are flatter, and that way when I put the rest of my rim joist up, those screws won't push it out too far. I wanted to go ahead and do the corners because if I put my rim joist up first, I wouldn't be able to get these on. On these 2 middle posts, I can turn those around 90 degrees and I can put these 2 post extenders on later on down the road. So I got all the rim joists tacked up. I got all my 2x6 supports just barely tacked in. I'm putting these 2x6s in for 2 different reasons. One, I feel like it's going to give a little extra support to my rim joist. And 2, I'd already bought and paid for enough of these black brackets for the porch as well. And since I decided not to notch my post, these 2x6s are going to square my corners off and plumb these posts up to where I can use my brackets. I don't really need the brackets, but they're pretty, so I'm putting them on there, and I already paid for them. I'm going to take me a quick snack break, and I'm going to pop all these 2x6s full of nails. I'm going to put structural screws in all my rim joist, and then we'll see what time allows from there. I may be able to get the brackets on before I leave today. That's what happens when you give a bad angle. Well, y'all, I'd call that a very successful day. I'm pretty happy with it. Got the rim, all 4 posts set for the porch. Got the rim joist on. I got my 2x6 supports mounted. I've got all 4 of my brackets mounted. I just need to get 8 more lag bolts, finish them off, which won't be a big deal. I got my joist marked off. I'll need 17 of those. I've already got 5. Yeah, I've already got 5 of them. So I'll bring out. So next trip, we'll put in joist. Trip after that, we'll deck it. Till next week, y'all find something you love to do and do it till it hurts.